So there's been some really good updates, but there's also been a lot of controversial ones too. Today, you and I are going to be going through every single Minecraft version, and we're going to be picking our favorite. And we got a lot to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started. Who needs 26.1? Let's go to installations, new installation. Scroll all the way down. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Old Alpha RD 132211. How do we play? So everything crashed. Let's try that again. Press play. I'm expecting big things. Okay. And here we are in the first version of Minecraft, or block game, I guess it's called. Okay, so if you left click, it places cobblestone, and right click deletes it. How do I mine diamonds? Well, needless to say, this version gets a solid 5 out of 10 for me because it laid the groundwork for everything, but there's not really much here. Let's go ahead and check out the next version. Get clickbaited, everybody. We're not doing every single alpha, but we're gonna go to the first beta right here. Old beta 1.0. All right, this is like a year after the other game. What do we got? Ooh, Mojang specifications. Okay. Select world. All right, we get 5 slots. I like it. I like it. Okay, look at this. Fun fact, before we start playing this game, did you know there used to be an InfDead version that looked like this? What are they all doing? Unfortunately, it seems like it's almost impossible to find an actual working copy of that, but I remember finding that when I was younger, being like, what in the world is this? It's kind of loud, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, the cows look the exact same as nowadays. What are these sounds? Oh my gosh, crafting is I instead of E. And it's called a workbench, not a crafting table. Boy, why are you moaning like that? Okay, let's move on. Oh, and I guess I give the beta like a solid 8 out of 10 because it's original Minecraft. It's solid. But now we gotta play the first ever release, which is 1.0. Oh, now this is classic. Subscribe, which is what you should do. Subscribe and like. I love you. All right, here we go. Let's play. Okay, spawning in a swamp biome and still these annoying sounds. But there's an options menu on this one. So I will say it is optimized extremely poorly. Obviously, this game is like, what, 13 years old at this point, but there's a no sprint button as that was added way later, and my screen is so choppy. Back when they used to be called achievements. If you guys miss achievements being called that over advancements, let me know. I don't even know why they changed it. I didn't know coal could spawn in the water like this. Am I just like stupid? Oh yeah, look at these water textures. I love how it just randomly becomes extra blue. That's so funny. Hey, look over there. Look what I see. Oh my gosh, back when the wheat looked all like the weeds as well. This looks so funny. All right, chat, let's go over here and see if we can find any metal. If we find some diamonds, y'all gotta hit that like button. If we find irons, y'all gotta hit that subscribe button. If we find nothing, I'm gonna cry. What do you mean there's nothing in here? Oh my gosh, villagers can't even trade yet. Let's go ahead and head to the next version. I give this a solid 9. So now that we're out of 1.0, we're finally in 1.1. And now I'm going to be talking about what's added in each of these updates so far. So first, it's still very glitchy, obviously. But in 1.1, they added the ability to make super flat worlds, have spawn eggs, beaches, as you can tell right here, which is pretty cool, and language support, which is obviously a very nice thing to have. Overall, though, for the first major update after the game's official release, this one's not the most exciting. So, Pig, what do we have to give this out of 10?
This a 3.
Why are you sniffing his butt? Ah! Oh my gosh, I just realized something. All of the worlds from like the hardcore series I did are now on this. So like the final attempt, Fart and Fart 2, all these are now on the Minecraft. And now we're on 1.21. Now 1.2 added jungles, iron golems, ocelots, and a higher build limit. Let's actually go into one of the worlds that I played. We'll go into Fart 2 and see what's got going on there. This is probably gonna corrupt my other world. Oh, we're in the water? What in the world? This looks nothing like my old survival world. 2 out of 10. Although it did have the jungle, which I do like. All right, now we're in 1.3, which added trading, adventures like temples and all that good stuff. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna make this world called 1.3 and reference it back with all these later updates. Ooh, we spawned in a forest. Honestly, this update doesn't really add much. You want to hear the most annoying falling sound ever though? Listen to this. Ow! I give this a 4. Now we're in 1.4, which apparently added like the wither, command blocks, and everything. And I will say the game is running a little bit better on my computer. That's pretty good. Now command blocks would obviously go on to change pretty much like the entire face of Minecraft and really like let a lot of people explore and do new things. So, I mean, as someone who loves creativity, I feel like I'm almost obligated to like this update. But at the same time, I do wish that it added a little bit more. As you guys kind of noticed so far, these updates have been pretty slim. And as we're going to find out later, they get even slimmer. Did you just interrupt me? 7 out of 10? Ah, the beautiful 1.5. See, I'm an unk. When I started playing Minecraft, this was my junk. 1.5, I'd make so many worlds with my brother. In fact, maybe I should go pull that world.
What up?
And today we're showing off. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, guys. So now we are in 1.5. And as you can tell, for some reason, I have chain armor. I don't know what that was, but as I mentioned earlier, so this was the world that me and my brother did. And look at this giant hotel. When I tell you guys that we built to the limit almost every single time, we'd... Excuse me, I was in the middle of talking. We'd go back and forth almost every single time, making all of these rooms. Now we're gonna go in here and show you guys exactly what we got going on here. Now this water slide that kind of goes into nothing, ignore that. This is just, it's a work in progress. Y'all are gonna see this finished one day. But anyway, if we go right here, the city hotel, a hotel with an entire city inside. Good lord, that door was loud. But anyway, look at this. The underbelly of the hotel. So yeah, look at this. All of these rooms were created by me and my brother. Now, obviously, I don't remember who made what, but all I remember is just having all these great memories. I feel like I almost have to give 1.5 a 10. Oh, I remember this one. I remember I jailed all these people because I hated them. Yeah, this roller coaster. Dude, this junk was sick. Although, you really couldn't go anywhere because the track's missing. But other than that, this was a really good memory. 10 out of 10. I was so wrong on my live streams and everything. I've been saying that my favorite Minecraft update was 1.7 because I thought that was the horse one, but apparently it wasn't. So this is 1.6, which actually added the horses. So we're gonna go back to our old survival world, and we're here. Nothing really looks that different. If anything, the game actually is performing a little bit worse. It's a little bit slower, and obviously that can just be marked up to the fact that I have like a way overpowered computer for what's necessary for 1.6 of Minecraft. However, I gotta say that by far 1.4 and 1.5 seem to be the best ones. For 1.6, I have to give it a 6. Ah yes, 1.7, the update that changed the world with brand new biomes and brand new almost everything. I love 1.7 because of just how much better the game looks and how it runs and everything. The game just looks better. It runs much better than 1.6. It has the visual looking betterness of the grass and everything. Just the entire world looks better than the previous one so far. And it should be because it is the most recent that we've spoken about. My biggest complaint, I think, with 1.7 is just the fact that there is not like any new, I guess, stuff to look at. I thought forever that it added all of the brand new biome stuff and made the game look a lot better. Like, what in the world is that thingy? But I also thought that it added the horses. And when I figured out I was wrong when I was researching this video, it has to dampen its score a little bit to a 1.8. Not a 1.8, an 8, not a 10. I absolutely love this version of Minecraft, and I probably spent my most time on this version. However, I do have to say, it's just probably never going to be the best one. 1.8 is one that a lot of people still play to this day because Hypixel still lets people play on it for the most part. It's called the Bountiful Update, and it added ocean monuments, banners, slime blocks, and rabbits. And while it's not very important for its update, it's important for its time, because I can still connect to Hypixel right now. Look at that, MVP++, Robin F joined the lobby. Hello! Nobody cares. When we load into our world, you're gonna see not a lot has changed yet again. This update didn't really do much for the entire world of Minecraft. I think people just remember it super fondly because it was the update before they changed the time PvP where you could just spam click, but every single Minecraft version that we talked about so far has that feature already in it. So there's not really a reason to give 1.8 an edge over something else because it has this form of PvP. Therefore, I have to give this update a 5. If you hate me, I get it. I love you. As much as y'all might hate me for saying it, the 1.9 combat update was one that really helped us out in the long run. You actually had to time your strikes, because if not, you would not do that much damage, and oh crap, I'm starving. And it also added shields and elytras and everything like that, and I love shields and elytras because I can use them and I don't have to be good. Now, I will say, obviously, this update was super controversial for its time, but I do think people have grown on it, and honestly, I have to give it a solid 9. I'm not trying to make the joke because it's a 1.9 update, I'm just saying it's a good update. Of all the updates that we've spoken about so far, none have harmed me the most except 1.10. 1.10 is my least favorite update, and I'm gonna go ahead and just say I give it a 0 out of 10 because I absolutely hate it. And the reason for that is it introduced polar bears, it introduced the ice biomes that I hate. If you want to learn more about the biomes that I hate, click on this video up here where I detail just how much I hate those ice biomes. Other than that though, it added absolutely nothing, and it sucks in comparison to 1.8, 1.9, 1.7, 1.6, I could go on and on and on. Screw 1.10, I hate you. The 1.11 is interesting because I feel the complete opposite from 1.10. 1.10 I hated because it added my least favorite part of this game. Now what if I told you they added some of my least favorite mobs and my least favorite structure, but I actually love this update? This added the Woodland Mansion and evokers and all those good people that I cannot stand. The reason why I actually like this update though is because even though I absolutely hate going to the Woodland Mansions and I hate the monsters inside of them, I have to admit the design is absolutely incredible. I think it's a lot of fun and it's really interesting. I just hate it because I have a skill issue. I mean, it also added llamas and totems and so many things that we think about in nowadays Minecraft were added in this update. And while I don't like it and I don't want to put it high, I have to give this update an 8.5 out of 10 because even though it adds my least favorite things in Minecraft, it would not be Minecraft without these things, and I do appreciate them being there. But I hate the ice biomes, screw the ice biomes, but let's protect Antarctica! The advancement system is something that I've been critical of probably since the beginning and that it was updated. But unfortunately, even though it's something that I'm not a big fan of, I do have to there's nothing here. I do have to say the advancement system is a lot more organized than the achievement ones. I do prefer the word achievement over advancement, but that's just personal preference. But I will say it added a lot of color. There's concretes, there's parrots, there's advancements, there's concrete, there's parrots, there's advancements. I take it back. This update sucks. There's so little. Okay, if a Minecraft update is working for like an entire year and all you add are parrots, concrete, and advancements, I'm not gonna like that. I mean, you know, there's a couple new things that I'm not mentioning just on purpose because there's not really a reason to, but this update was just kind of disappointing. I'm not gonna lie. I think parrots are super cute. They're in, I think, my top 10 mobs. You can check out that video also on my channel, but unfortunately, this update's just kind of boring. If you guys like this update, let me know. And this is a good time to say, what's your favorite Minecraft update? I'm actually curious. I'm not just trying to engagement bait. I really want to have some, like, you know, fun little discussion in the comments. If you love an update that I hate, I'd love to hear it. But anyway, let's go ahead and go to the next one. Look at this beautiful background. So now we're in 1.13, and this is my favorite update in all of Minecraft. Actually, it's my second favorite. You'll see my favorite like really soon. But anyway, 1.13 is an excellent update for many, many reasons. First, also ignore this terrible world generation. We've had this since 1.3. First, it's the first one that spawned a village randomly in our area. That's pretty cool. But no, real talk, it was update aquatic, and the oceans needed a revamp for a long time. You guys remember the very beginning in like 1.0? We were just like awkwardly on the water. Well, now we can swim, and it makes things so much easier and actually a lot more fun. Now, everything in the aquatic update wasn't perfect, but it's probably the closest that we're gonna get for a long time because it added dolphins, it added like the shipwrecks, and it added everything that makes the oceans nowadays a crap ton more interesting. Well, except this one. This one's not a good example. Now, if I have to be critical, I do have to say that I do wish this update added a little bit more scary things in the ocean. Obviously, we have drowned, we have guardians, we have all that crap, but I'd love to see sharks. I'm terrified of sharks in real life. I don't want to swim with sharks ever. However, I will say that adding a scary monster, maybe even like another scary boss in the ocean would be dope. Add a freaking megalodon or like the Minecraft equivalent. I would love that, and I'm pretty sure you guys would too. Other than that though, this update gets a solid 9.5 for me. I love it. The 1.14 game was one of the best updates of all time. Now, this is the village update that added pillagers and it added villages, and I hate pillagers. I really, really do. But I have to admit, they make a very interesting addition to this game. They also changed that god-awful wheat texture, which was a good thing. But at the same time, this made the game a lot more fun. This was like the quality of life update, in my opinion, because not only did they make the textures a lot better to look at, but they also made villagers actually useful. Gone are the days of just hoping that one has a good trade for you. You can actually, you know, change its class and hope that it, you know, gives you an enchanted book. The trades are overhauled. And then you have to, like, I don't know, keep a watch for the pillagers and go burn down the pillager outpost. That's fun. That's a great update. This one gets a solid 10 out of 10 for me. This is the best one so far. 1.15 is awful. I hate it. It is by far the worst update that we've talked about so far. Because how are you going to have the big update of the Minecraft year be the bee update? First, wasps are my least favorite animal. I absolutely hate them. They are horrifying and I will never like them ever. Now, while that's not technically a bumblebee, how are you gonna make the big update be about a bee? I don't like that. I literally have nothing else to say except you get a B- is what I would say if it was good. You get an F-, 0. That's not funny. That B update made me mad. But anyway, as you guys can see, 1.16, we are now talking about the Nether update. Now, the Nether was something that needed an overhaul badly and probably like 5 years prior to this update. But I will say this is a situation of better late than never, because when I say that the Nether update was excellent, the Nether update was incredible. The Nether update gave biomes to the Nether, which was just a hellish dimension that sucked for the longest time. But now you can find Enderman at the blue forest. You can look at the super dope red forest and find those Hoglin thingies. You can trade with piglins, you can find bastions, the fortresses are more interesting. It's just a much better biome. And what happened here? I will say, obviously the world is not, the best to look at. It's still visually disgusting. It's supposed to look like that, and they made it look a lot better in the process. So overall, the Nether update for me gets a solid 9.5 out of 10. The only thing I would change is I feel like some of it looks very similar to other parts of it, and the Soul Sand Valley sucks. The Basalt Deltas suck, but I kind of love the fact that they suck. Therefore, I give it a solid 8.5 or 9, whatever the hell I said. All right, we're at my favorite update in the game. I'm actually grouping 1.17 and 1.18 everything together because that is the Caves and Cliffs update. And they released in 2 parts. Notoriously, kind of frustrating if they did that, but I will say the Caves and Cliffs update is the best update in all of Minecraft. Anyway, the Caves and Cliffs update is just one that you cannot tell me is a bad update because honestly, you'd just be entirely wrong. Minecraft is supposed to be a game about exploring, right? It's supposed to be big and grandiose, and before that, we didn't really have any of those structures. But now, above ground and below ground, there's so much more. The caves are massive. You can get dripstone, you can find diamonds. There's just so much more to look at, so much more to see, and a lot more dangerous. While the Cliffs update, on the other hand, literally made a mountain out of a molehill. You had these awful looking hills that just weren't that interesting and turned them into these like massive mountains with this great generation. That's a great addition. I love this update. And I honestly would be surprised if anybody would put this in their bottom 5. 10 out of 10. All right, now we're on 1.19, which introduced mangrove, swamps, frogs, the deep dark, and of course the warden. It's kind of cool that it like changed this biome to be a flower forest. It's kind of strange. But anyway, I will say so far, this performance of Minecraft has been the worst because my webcam's been lagging. Everything's been a lot worse. We've not encountered pretty much any performance issues since about 1.4 or something like that. So to have this update kind of mess with my stuff a little bit is a little bit frustrating. It seems a little bit resource heavy. But what I will say is, though I do not like the warden and I am very critical of it, oh, that's a sick village up there. Look at that. It's like on the floating stuff. Even though I'm not a big fan of the warden or the deep dark, I do love when they add new bosses, when they add little side content that you totally don't have to beat the game, but you can have if you want to enhance the game. And them adding that is probably one of the coolest things. This is the dopest village. And there's a seed temple. Whoa! Just being totally honest, this update is not my personal favorite because of what they added, but also, without it, I don't think I'd be very happy, so I have to give it a solid 8. They added my favorite color biome, the pink forest. I have to like it. I'm not even gonna waste your time. 8 out of 10. Although, why did they add the sniffer? Waste of time. Well, crap, my brother can't play this anymore. I'm allergic to walnuts, and he's allergic to all nuts, so I probably need to let him know that Minecraft may contain nuts. That's not funny. Anyway, 1.21, the Trails and Tales update, I am not a big fan of. I think it's okay. But, I mean, I think the trials are cool, and like I said earlier with the warden, I love optional side content. It makes it more fun, but at the same time, it doesn't really seem that worth it to do. No one's really going out of their way being like, oh, I need to complete this trial. But for example, if they see a mine shaft, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna go to this mine shaft before I do anything else. If I see a trial chamber, I'm not thinking that. It did add the breeze, which I guess is cool, I guess. Better version of the blaze, but still annoying. I don't know. I just don't like how they did this one. I love the idea, but don't love the execution. 6 out of 10. Okay, and now we're on 26.1, and I guess also 26.2. And as you're going to tell, we're not in the same world as earlier, because this one's a little bit emotional for me. So as you guys can tell, I am on my hardcore world. If you guys have been watching that series, I really appreciate all the support. It honestly means the absolute world to me, and I love all of you guys so much. This is my first series in about 12 years of doing YouTube to actually get some serious traction, and it really just means the world to me and really warms my heart. So being on this world is always going to mean a lot to me. Now, obviously, I do have to be honest about my opinion of 26.1 and 26.2 together right here, and I will say they are good. I'm going to give them a solid 8 out of 10. I'm not going to say 10 because taking all my biases aside, I have to make an honest journalism video for you guys. I think 26.1 is absolutely great. If I'm ranking it by itself, which I guess I also could, I'd give that a solid 9.5. It adds a bunch of the animal variants so it doesn't all look the same. It gives more biome atmosphere. It gives new environmental details and world immersion. Like, there's just so much about it I love. But then the Copper Age came in 26.2 and introduced the Copper Golem and all that crap that I don't care about. I think that update is so forgettable, even though it's brand new, that I forgot to mention it in the video where I ranked all the mobs. I'm not kidding. You know, me and my brother grew up playing Minecraft together. I'll never forget the memories I made with him on, his Xbox 360. We played Minecraft. We, had a dog named Wolfie T. James. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. Some of these things I'll never forget. Back then, I was like, 10, and now I'm 21, made a hardcore series for you guys for the first time, beat the Ender Dragon for the first time live. That was a cool moment. All that being said, though, it doesn't matter what your favorite Minecraft version is. We all love the game. I love all of you guys so much, and I appreciate all of you guys watching. If you've enjoyed this video, let me know. Leave a like, subscribe if you guys are new. I'm going to make some more commentary videos like this in the future. I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Also, if you guys want me to finish this world and do all of the freaking advancements, hit that like button. Love y'all. Bye.